Welcome back, folks. This is Tommy, Help with Gadgets, and we've got an interesting knife to do a disassembly cleaning of today. By the way, this one is on loan from FredTheLug, and appreciate him allowing me to take a look at this one. He actually handed this one off to me. We met up in Massachusetts last week, I think it was, in fact, or at this point maybe 2 weeks ago. And not 2 full weeks. It's been, about a week and a half, I guess, since we met. Just a little over a week since I got back from vacation. Anyhow, this is the Wee Coral, and there's a couple of things that we can notice just from looking at this knife that should make the disassembly and cleaning kind of cool. We've got this, the flipper. So the flipper is kind of almost hidden there, but in order to actuate it, you pull it back as such and flip it out. So it's works really well on that. The other thing is I'm not seeing a pivot there. So I have a feeling it's under here, but still we've got to take this apart to get to that. So let's carefully remove these. Let's see, that may be a T6. And those are T6s. So we've got T6s on these nice topo insets here. So let's remove that one and see what happens. I'm assuming, to get the one out on this side, I'm going to need to take that pocket clip off. The pocket clip's a T8 on the screws. I checked that a while ago. So let's go ahead and loosen those and get that out of the way. Okay, and I'll put that screw over there with the pocket clip, and those are also T8s there. Go ahead and take that loose. T8 there. So we've got that T6, which is right here. We'll set that right there. Okay. Switch back to the T6. And take that screw out of here. All right, let's see. Set that there. Now we can figure out, hopefully, I think I felt something move there. So that comes loose there. Okay. That came loose there. Not feeling how that might come loose. So let's just go ahead and switch back to that T8. We can take that loose here and see what happens. And it's spinning. Okay, holding some pressure on that blade. I think it's still spinning. Alright, so we're going to have to figure out how to get this to loosen up. Gently tap, there we go. Gently tapping it against the hand. Alright, so now let's try spinning. Let's try spinning that. Let's try use my little finger bit here and place that into this side, and then we should be able to back this side out. Ooh, that's tight. All right, let's get another driver out. I have this little stubby here, and let's choose the T8. That's it. So we have to be careful that we hold. That's why I like using those. I like using the finger bits if possible, but this one's pretty tight. All right. Okay, there we go. And it's going to come all apart here. And bearing even popped out. So let's put that bearing in. And I want to. Okay, so that's that one there. Let's open this up. And okay, yep. I wanted to see how this bearing was situated, and when it's in the proper place, that open side of the bearing is down in that milled area in the blade. So that's how I like to do it anyways, and apparently that's the way it was designed. So there we go. Alright, so now we can take a look at this blade, and you can see that flipper there that we were talking about. Once it's inside as such, then there's the little spring inside the blade there, and you see that little plunger that flips it out. So very cool. Alright, I like it. Alright, let's go ahead and wipe everything down. We've got some extensive milling here for weight reduction, and then you've got where the insets go in there, and you saw how all that stuff was hidden, so that's pretty cool. Fairly thick plate stock on this. Just wiping all this stuff down. We'll get at some of that stuff with a cotton tip applicator here in a minute. Wipe all this stuff down. Although again, this is one of those knives that hasn't been used a whole lot. And we'll get that with a cotton tip applicator. Alright. Okay. Let's get that. Go ahead and wipe some of this stuff down. I like to get in here where the bearings go. Get in that pivot hole. As such there. Make sure that there's nothing on that little plunger thing. And in this case, I don't think there's any reason to actually put any oil on that little plunger. A lot of times if you put oil, it can attract junk, so we don't want to do that. Make sure the lock face is clean. Make sure this lock face is clean. Okay. Alright, didn't drop that pivot in there, and I didn't drop that pivot screw in there, so I need to do that. Alright, let's get another fresh cotton swab out. Then I want to clean these bearings off. Set them here to let those dry a little bit. Same for here. And we want to get that pivot screw. And let's see if I still have the T8 in here. Yep, and I'm going to back that out just like I do regular ones. And that's a free spinning pivot. So we can put that in from either side. Alright. Let that dry. Go ahead and wipe down these nice little topo inserts. Those are cool looking, by the way. And we've got the pocket clip out, so we might as well wipe that one down as well. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and start putting everything back together. Still a little wet there, so let's blow that off. All right, let's go ahead and we'll put this together just as we would any other knife. And again, we want that open end to be toward the blade. So let's put that on. Put a little dab of Gunny Glide. That's just my preferred one. Preferred knife lube of choice. And let's put that there. Same thing here. A little bit there. And I'm going to put a little dab there on that detent ball. Okay. So we've got everything that we need there. Let's go ahead and assemble this. Now the thing is, we will need to adjust that pivot before we put the inserts in, of course. Put a little bit of dab of Loctite on there to hold everything. And then we'll start that, get that. Now remember on this, we had to hold that pivot. We may not have to do that this time. So now I'm going to check everything. It seems solid. Everything's centered. Oh yeah. Very good, very good. All right, so now we can put these inserts back in, and you can see they've cut out to where that pivot screw is going to be, and this will be the one for this side. And that'll be a T6, so we'll swap that out. So you can see this one takes a little additional work over what a lot of knives would be, but it's still not bad. It's different, and it gives it a very clean look, in my opinion. I'm not that familiar with the company that designed this. This is GTC, but I will find out some additional information before the review. All right, and then we'll switch back to that T8. Tighten those body screws. Those are just fine. I'll check these two over here, make sure they've not loosened up. I just noticed the crosshatch pattern on this backspacer. That's very cool. All right, and then we will put on the pocket clip. Get that into place and get those tightened. There we have it. That is the Wee Coral, and I hope you've enjoyed the disassembly and cleaning video. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so. Leave a comment, let me know what you think about the knife and the design and how it all came back together. Hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Hope to see y'all again soon, and thank you so much for watching.